Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxshire, on the show tonight. It's the two Drum Chapel legends, Bridgeman and Stephen. How we doing, boys?
How are you, Oxshire? How's things, mate? And how's my big pal, the Bridgeman? How are you?
Oh, magic. Can I just say a huge good evening to you two guys? Massive good evening to you guys in the lobby, to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
The last time I saw you in a space this small, there was bars on it. You two were in together. But aye, good to see you, boys.
Nice bars. Nice bars.
How we doing, Stevie?
Yes, I'm fine and dandy. Another 3 points in the bag. That'll do me. A rough watch, but another 3 points in the bag, Ox.
Aye, it was a rough watch, mate. We'll get your views in a minute. How are you, Bridge?
I'm okay tonight. Thank you very much, Oxshire. I've recovered, and I'm as perky as hell.
Yeah, here, mate. Here. You look after the new teeth you're breaking, all right?
I know.
Stevie, obviously we had a long debate about it last night, about the game. It went on longer than we thought it would, but obviously it wasn't a great performance, but we won. Give us your thoughts.
It's just plain and simple. I think the keeper and done us a right favour, got us out of jail a wee bit there. Big Golson was sleeping, but look, I'm not wanting to go into the negatives over there. Enough of the negatives the last few nights there talking about it. The positives are that we got the 3 points, and by the way, and the next day they dropped a couple, so every point's a nailer here the way we're going on. So I was over the moon. But gone to Dundee and getting 3 points. Would we have all took 1-0 before our ball was kicked? I think most days would have.
I know somebody would have, mate.
Yes, Bridge, yes, certainly. And I'll tell you, it was a tidy wee finish for Aribo. But I had a fantastic day, Ox. As you know, I spent it with another pundit, Mr. Southside. His hospitality was absolutely fantastic. And we got up to Dundee and I took him a wee detour to my pal's castle. And we went up to Stirling Castle and we did a couple of shots and that. We had a great day. It was a bit of a rough watch, but we had a great day. 3 points back down the road and everybody was accounted for. Happy days.
That's the main thing. No stragglers left behind. Aye, I think he's right.
No.
Listen, just letting everybody know that we'll be joined later on this evening by the captain of the Rangers ladies team, Brianna Westrup, joining us, Bridge.
Well, I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Well, the ladies are doing quite well at the moment, so...
the season just started, but we're putting their elbow, and obviously it's becoming bigger. But it's great the officials coming on and joining us here, Stevie, for the club.
Fantastic.
Just absolutely fantastic for the show.
Sorry.
Absolutely fantastic for the show, Ox. Anytime you get representation for the Rangers, whether it's the ladies or the men or whatever the situation is, it's absolutely fantastic for the show. And as you know, we've got a lot of lady listeners out there, so it's good for them to hear what the lassies are doing. And by the way, the lassie's the captain of the team, and she's a no-nonsense defender. She's my type of player. No nonsense, blood, sweat and tears, and fair play to the lassie for coming on. Great stuff, and I'm looking forward to the interview.
I think it's great that they're coming on, they're talking, they're pushing the ladies' game forward. It used to be back in the day, the only one when we attracted was because of Fox. How we've moved on, Bridgeman.
You can't laugh at that way because of Fox. I love it. He was an attraction after all. But seriously, no, yeah, it's great to see. It's great to see. There's some really nice people with their wives and all that at the football now. That's just tremendous. Just a great team to watch, and their kids as well, of course.
Right,
marvellous.
Yeah.
Just marvellous.
We're moving into the 20th century.
We are indeed, pal. We are indeed. Yeah, I think we're a really good club. Any negatives about the club, I will 100% agree with Big Stevie. Let's forget the negatives at all. Let's get on, and we are Rangers. Let's be positive about everything.
Here. Right, okay, so Saturday's gone, Big Stevie, and we start looking forward. We've got a big match on Thursday. What's your thoughts? I know I've heard people say it's not important, but every game we play is important. We're Rangers, aren't we?
That's a total war cry. We're Glasgow Rangers. We want to win every game we play. You know, every Ranger. We want to fight for every shy, every corner, every free kick. We want to fight for everything. And I'm really looking forward to the game on Thursday night. And I'm pretty sure if we play to our capabilities, we'll get a result there. We really will.
Look, it's a big game. It's obviously important for prestige. We'd like to get points on the board in the group bridge, but obviously there's also the financial aspect here.
Yeah, we want us to go to get as much points on the board, obviously, but it's really important to do that because of the finance. We, as a club, we've suffered the same as most clubs who didn't have fans coming in the door, and we need to get some cash in the door as well. That's what we need, and there's no better place to get it than Europe. That's the make the cash cow for us. We need to go out there and do the business. Well, I'm so looking forward to Thursday night. Come on, Rangers! I'm shouting for them now. Good stuff. Get in there.
Yep. Just reminding anybody who's not picked up, it's a 5:45 kickoff, Stevie. Yeah?
Aye, that's an early kick-off, and then the other Bob there on later. That's how it goes. Then it'll change about the next time round. But listen, I'm pretty confident we can go there and get a result. As I said, you say it a lot of times in this show, we play, we win, and I'm pretty confident we'll up our game. I know Dundee was a rough watch there, but it's a different kettle of fish when you're going to these places, and the Europa League. So it's I think we'll raise our game, and I think we'll do the business. I have no fear whatsoever. I think you'll see wee Alfie, the best comes out wee Alfie in the Europa League. So I think you'll see the best out of him. We'll get a couple of goals.
Mm-hmm. When you look at Stevie G's record, bridge in Europe, it's absolutely superb. But in the last 7 games or something, I've not checked out exactly, we've only won 1.
Yeah, it's there's something strange been happening. It's I don't know. Obviously, nobody knows. Can't put their finger on it. But I think we came up against. I'm not being funny when I say this. In the Champions League, we came up against Malmo, and we weren't ready for Malmo.
Too early for us, wasn't it? Too early
absolutely.
For us.
Absolutely. But they played very well against us.
Huh?
And then we meet Leon, and Leon did the same. They played really well against us. Tremendous stuff. And by the way, I have to say that they got their goals, and you think to yourself, we weren't quite at the top of our game at all. They got their goals, and I think we were on worst enemies that night. But they played fabulous football, and they were a better team than us.
Mm-hmm. So it's important. It'd be great to hear what people think, Stevie. If they're thinking, is it important? But we know how important the league is this year. But is it going to be a dual attack?
Aye, of course it is. Aye, we've said it every mentor we want to win, so why would it no be? So look, the leagues were bread and butter. We won the league this year, we're straight into the Champions League, so it's a lot of dough, and but while we're on our way to doing that, we want to prove ourselves in Europe. We don't want to rest in our laurels saying, they're all day. I mean, we're going here. And Thursday, I want to win the game. I don't want to go here and I will try and streak a point. I want to go here. We're capable of beating this team. Well capable. Mm-hmm. So,
but we have to play. We have to play. Stevie?
Yeah, we do.
Aye, we have to play. Oh, aye. We've got to get my sleeves rolled up. We've got to show them the respect, Ox. We've got to go and show them absolute no respect. Get the sleeves rolled up and play our game, play to our capabilities, play to our strengths. Hopefully, Morelos traps in, hodds the ball, and brings people in. hopefully we just show a bit of swagger and get the sleeves rolled up and get in about them.
Aye. Sounds good to me, Bridge.
Yeah, absolutely. But I have to say this. It's awful strange. I watch the news every night, and it's 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock news, and I watch it. The team that has got the biggest headlines over the piece was that Rangers should have been, our goalkeepers have been sent off, blah blah blah. And we got a penalty, and the goalkeeper saved us, and so on and so forth. I'm thinking, maybe with it, the biggest story was that mob the other side of the city. Couldn't they win at home? They've got a bad record away. They couldn't win at home at the weekend.
I'm going to give you a wee bit of advice. Change the channels you watch. Big Stevie.
Aye. Listen, look. A lot of people like to keep their eye on the enemy, don't they? They say that, keep your enemies close, but look, it is what it is. We concentrate on us. I'm capable. We get this game and we get the 3 points in the Europa League, and we come back to Ibrox for the next game. I think we'll be in really good stead. I think it'll kick our season off again, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for just that wee trigger. If we can get away win here on Thursday, that might just trigger our domestic season as well and gives that wee bit of extra confidence, that wee boost that we need. Because we've all said it, we're only in second gear here. So we're hoping that triggers us a wee win in Europe, pert the boys up a bit, and hopefully we can take it into domestic again for Hibs on Sunday.
Here, I get your point. Listen, I think with this league, this mini league as they call it, Bridgeman, I don't think it would be a disaster to get an away point if we can win the rest of our home games and see what it takes us, But we'll see where it goes. But Stevie, obviously you want to win. Of course we do. Bridge?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Look, what we're looking for is we need to turn that wee corner that we haven't actually managed to turn yet with for our quality. And we saw some of our better players over the last number of games not turning in really good performances at all. And some of our stalwarts from last season just sometimes have fallen through the cracks below the standard. So we need to get that back again, and I'm sure the manager and the coaching staff will be getting that sorted out.
It's all about raising the bar and getting the standards, because I think you're right. We haven't been firing on all cylinders, Bridgeman, and I think maybe hopefully you're right, Stevie. We just need a spark to ignite us.
Yep, that's all we need, guys. We just need that game that triggers us and gives us that wee bit extra confidence, and that might help the players, because as Brad says there's been a lot of our big hitters haven't been performing at all, and I think I'm hoping that guys like Ryan Kent, Stevie Davis will be back in the team on Thursday. So let's just see what it brings us.
So I don't have any chance of seeing Ryan Kent, mate.
Nah.
No, hamstring, mate. You're talking minimum after the international break. Thoughts, Bridge?
I would suggest that's right. Much as I would love Ryan Kent's name to appear, even in the subs bench, it would be fantastic for us. That we think we would at least be able to think, well, we can fill him in and he can do something for us. But seriously, I just doubt it very much that it's going to be there. I just doubt it.
Hamstrings are 6 weeks, Stevie, and that's maybe when you start training.
It's just when they walk after the part. How bad was it?
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, if he does do, we're still more than capable of going there with what we've got and getting a result. Maybe against Leon away, realistically, you've got to say your head's got to rule your heart and say, if we get a draw there, that would be a great result. But no, this game, I'm looking for Rangers to go win the game on Thursday night. I really am.
You know what I think, Stevie? I watched the game again today, Saturday's game, and I'm thinking, wouldn't it be great to see Golson hitting 2 or 3 these long balls he's got used to doing, long diagonals and hitting Bassey or something like that. And it's been great for that to happen. It'd really give everybody a lift seeing it happening. Because I think Golson's quite good at that. He's no hit it anyway. He's not hit the ball. Every time he touches the ball, he's at the park. To the opposition.
But we say
it's a
that
total
on Saturday, and a lot of people thought he was the best player the previous game, you know? Stevie?
Yeah, agreed.
Well, I was just going to say to Bridge that he's totally right. Golson could pick a pass out. I mean, we've seen the one he played through to Scott Wright. I would like to see Rangers players doing what Defoe done. The one Tav put right through to him against, was it Hamilton or something? Or St Johnstone or something like that. And he just took it first time and just stroked it in. It was just absolutely sublime. And I would like our players, when a ball like that comes out, try and not take that first touch. Just try and bang it right away. Crack it right into the net. Because most of the time you're at the edge of the 18-yard box when that ball's dropping down. Just try and hit it. They always try and bring it down and then maybe take an extra touch. By that time, the keeper's out and tapping him. But Bridge is right. Golson can pick out a pass. He's not had the greatest game there on Saturday. But listen, they all raised their game in Europe. And I think it could possibly come that he picks a real good pass out. And I just hope the player running in can either control it first time and hit it right away, or hit it the first time as soon as it falls. You know, I don't know many times I said it at the end of the game again, guys, on Saturday, will somebody take a shot? No, you have it and he passes it back. No, you hit it and we're going, just one of you hit it, will you? When, especially when you're inside the 18-yard box. But anyway, and back to Thursday, yes, Golson could pick a pass out and hopefully that happens on Thursday night, Bridge.
Yeah, like you were saying there about that goal that Defoe scored, the way the ball came over, the way the ball was put through, that was a world-class goal. The way he received that ball and the one move just swept it right into the net, it was just utterly world-class. You don't see them coming out every week. You just don't see it. But my goodness, it was a great goal. And yes, I agree with you. You wish that they would take, Rangers would take some youngster and say to him, like, you go with Defoe, and maybe Defoe can coach him. Maybe it's happening now, of course, and show him some of these moves and what to look for and how to do it. Because it was all about, everything about Defoe at that point was full coordination. He was fully up for it. He knew where the ball was going, where it was coming from, and what he was going to do. And I just worked for him. Now, all it would need was a wind to get up and blow the ball away, and they never got it. But it all happened for him. It was just superb. A one-class goal. We need more of them.
I think, if I'm being honest, maybe Defoe's the only striker we've got who's got that instinct in him. Maybe Roof, but I don't even know if he's got that. But Defoe's got, because Defoe was top drawer. Obviously, his age is against him, but I don't know if we've got another guy in our club that could have done that. Stevie?
No, I agree with you. Defoe's just a natural finisher, isn't he? He's absolutely brilliant. And he just knows where the goal is. It's just all about instinct, isn't it? And that day he stroked the ball into the net. It was just absolutely, it was effortless the way he done it. The ball came out and what a ball for it to have, and he just stroked it in. But you're probably right, Ox. Defoe's about the best natural finisher we've got at the club. So he is. So, I can't think of anybody else. I really can't.
You know, I used to score goals like that, guys. I used to score goals like Defoe.
In the round net. Keepers, Bridge, keepers, all go. Oh, sorry about that, keeper.
I love it.
You know what I mean?
I just love it.
I've seen the clips on Pathy News, Stevie.
You're a cruel man.
What made it worse? They used to show him when he was at the pictures with his mates. Oh dear. Aye, but I'm not slight on the rest of the players. I mean, Morelos can do things Defoe can't do, and Roof's got strength to his bow that Morelos hasn't got, and Kent's got loads of strength to his bow, but Defoe's just that guy that had that in him. I don't know if anybody else has got, Stevie.
They've all got different attributes. There's no two ways about it. I mean, we Morelos can run ragged at a defence himself, when he's on it. He can keep them occupied, And Roof, he's got pace beyond pace. He can just run about. Sometimes he runs about like a heedless chicken. But the bottom line, they've all got different attributes. But I think Defoe is one the best natural finisher we've got at the club. And I know he's done as a coach these days, but it would be good to see him maybe a wee cameo here and there every now and again as well. Because he does still know where the goal is, so let's not be kidding. No, he still knows where the goal is, no problem for me.
I don't think we'll see him again, if I'm being honest, mate. I think his career's that's it, moved on now. You know, I might be wrong. I've been wrong before, I think.
Aye.
Yeah.
We all know when you're wrong. We know when you're wrong.
Every day, Bridge. Every day. But I mean, but obviously Defoe's been fantastic and good for us as a club, you know. Obviously, we paid him and he's earned his money, but I just think I don't think we'll see him playing against Stevie. I might be right, but I don't think
he'll be used very sparingly. He'll probably be there and brought on when we're 3-4 up or something like that, you know. And everybody's
I can't even see him getting room on the bench because you've not got any.
Yeah, good point.
Stevie?
I just love the guy anyway.
The only way we would see him is something really bad, a few suspensions and a few injuries. Because, you know, you just said it there, the amount of subs you can use now are cut, you know what I mean? So I think you could be right. I think it might be time's up for him, you know. No less, as I said, something like that something drastic really happens. You know, maybe a COVID thing or something happens again, but I think you might need to bring him in. But what a career the guy's had. What a career Jermaine Defoe's had, you know. And of course, he got his goal against them too, you know. So, aye, what a career.
I love it when he plays for us. I absolutely love watching him when he's playing for us. Seriously like him. Seriously.
You just wish he's one of the players you just wish you could have got him with his pomp, you know?
Yeah.
Well, so I think it was you that said that, you know, and it stuck in my head and all. Who would you rather come off a plenty? Stevie Gerrard, Jermaine Defoe, Stoney, and Neil Lennon and the other half, you know what I mean? So, you know, he's a total and utter ambassador for our club, no matter where he goes, you know. And see, for a young guy, you know, in the B team and that, and Jermaine Defoe's gone and watching them play, that must give the boys a lift. Jermaine Defoe, jeez, oh man.
Oh, England International with a high number of caps. Wow.
Aye, he's an icon, a wee bit like our gaffer as well. Obviously, they're buddies as well, I think, you know. But they're both icons. You know?
Oh,
yeah, you know, but I get your point, mate. You try to sign a player and people turn up to meet you or greet you, and it's Jermaine Defoe's there. It sends out the right message, Bridge. Not that we should keep him about just for sentiment. But
no sentiments in football. No sentiments. And yes, that's why I was saying you could, if there were 4 or 5 up, you could bring him on and let him run riot if you want. But no, for me, no. He's definitely no. I'm saying he's not fit enough. Of course he's fit. He's a professional footballer, so he should be fit. But don't take chances. Number one, you get easily injured. You know that all hamstrings and calf twists and so on and so forth. You know.
Sands a time late for no man, Bridge. You well know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And don't drop your bus pass.
Yeah. He could still turn quick, mate.
I've seen Milk turning quicker. Come on, Ox, don't be nice.
Oh, mate, that was some spin, mate. He'd go on Strictly with that spin. All right, he was punting and puffing after it, but it's some spin.
Was it Bob turning on a dashing white sergeant, was it?
Oh, mate, what a manoeuvre.
Dashing white sergeant. That's a blast for the pass, that one, pal. Woo!
Brilliant.
I know. What a man.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I think we've been joined by a caller. If you two get yourself mute, it's for guest this evening. Good evening. We've been joined by Brianna Westrup on Rangers Radio. How are we doing?
I am fine. How are you?
All right. It's good to talk to you, Skipper.
Yeah. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, how did you find that, getting made the captain of Rangers women's team?
Yeah, obviously a massive privilege and honor to be able to lead the girls week in and week out. So just really humbled.
I take it, has there been some Mickey taken?
Some what?
They've been pulling your leg, the girls, being the skipper now?
Oh, honestly, not too much. Maybe more the coaching staff here and there, but we all just pull each other's leg, regardless of if you're the captain or not, to be fair.
Oh, brilliant. So, you've got an interesting career, obviously. It's not a Scottish accent, you're a Scottish internationalist now, and congratulations on that.
Cheers, I appreciate that.
Born in California where the sun shines, and you've ended up in the west of Scotland.
Yeah.
How did that journey come about?
Well, obviously growing up, so my mom's from Scotland, which is obviously how I'm able to play for the national team. But growing up, I've kind of always been to Scotland about probably on average once or twice a year to see my family. So I'm pretty familiar just with the country in general. And then in the back of my mind, I'd always kind of wanted to play over there at some point. When I was younger, I just thought, how great would it be if I came over and then my, family over here could actually see me play for once, because obviously it's quite a trek to come out to the States. So that was always in the back of my mind. And then obviously went to university, finished university, and then kind of just made my way over to the UK and just thankfully got the opportunity to try out for Rangers. And yeah, I've been here for a couple of years now and been enjoying it. Yeah.
When the setup in the States, I mean, women's football in the States has been massive long before the UK. Yeah. Is your system similar to the men's through the college?
Yeah, so the biggest difference that I feel I've seen, obviously, is over here it's much more academy-based, where you kind of like, join a team, join an academy, whereas in the States, there's not really like the professional teams, well, at least to my knowledge, for the women don't really have academies. It's more the college route you have to go through. So You have your local club. Granted, the States is massive, so there's so many like clubs within each state. There was like 4 huge clubs in the country just in California alone. So you kind of just join one of them and then hope, if you have aspirations to keep playing, hope to go to a good university. And then it's kind of from there is where you could either try to get drafted within the United States after you graduate, or some people obviously try to go overseas and get an agent and things like that. So yeah, I would say it's mainly the route over there is get looked at for college, get an education, and then if you want to keep playing after that, then you join maybe a team somewhere else.
All right, so you started playing, obviously. You started playing in the States, and what triggered the journey? Obviously, you ended up at Rangers, but you came out of the UK, tried out in Newcastle, then came up and played for the Rangers. But what triggered that passion in you to play professional sport?
Yeah, I don't actually think I thought too much about it until I got to college. Up until I'd graduated high school, I played multiple sports, and my parents were quite good about not pressuring me to really choose one. As long as you're enjoying everything you're doing, like keep going. And then I had one really good breakout year in club where a lot of college coaches started coming up to my coach and kind of asking, oh, can she come on a visit? Because in the States, you commit quite early, quite young, verbally to a certain school. So it was after that season, I was still kind of spreading my time between a few sports. And I thought, right, well, if I'm actually going to pursue football for college, then I'm going to need to kind of dedicate more of my time. So it was probably around when I was more, 17, 18, I thought, right, I'm going to college for this now. And I probably would want to play professionally, but it really was just going to depend on how well I did at college as well. You can, maybe go to a school, maybe have not so great luck with your coach, maybe fall out of love with playing and stuff like that. But thankfully I had a really good experience in general and had a good 3rd and 4th year at my university. And that's kind of when I thought I'm going to want to keep playing past this. I wasn't quite ready to give it up. So yeah, I would say probably around maybe like 18, I thought it was a possibility of playing professionally at some point. And then more so when I was maybe 21, as I got closer to graduating, I kind of put a bit more thought into like maybe where I'd want to play, Maybe I wanted to do it in a different country. Maybe I wanted to stay in the States, and just kind of thinking about more of those like questions specifically.
Yeah, obviously the American route's completely different for the British route, but and congratulations for going through that to get there, to have that passion. So we're obviously a Rangers fans radio station, so we're interested in your Rangers journey. So you've arrived at Rangers and you walked in the door as a professional footballer. The training setup, how was that?
Yeah, obviously the facilities are really good there, and that's kind of one of the first things you notice when you go into the training center is how good of a setup they do have, and how beautifully kept everything is. So that's definitely something that, captivates you right away. And then furthermore, everyone's obviously just so friendly. Doesn't really matter if you're a first team player, if you're in the academy, maybe you're a young kid and you have a game that day or something at the pitch and you pass them, everyone just says hi, and is really, really friendly, to be honest. So those are the two things that really stand out right away, is like the community of people they have in there, and then obviously the class of facilities.
Your season's no long started, but what's a normal training day for you as a first team player with a women's team? What's a normal day?
So it's changed like slightly as the season started. In preseason, they had us in for like fairly long days. Obviously, they got to get everything they need in to make sure that we're physically ready for the season. So we would probably report. I mean, now we have to report a wee bit earlier for COVID testing, for supervised testing, just to make sure that everyone's staying safe. But we probably start training around like 11:30. For a couple hours, and then we get our lunch at the center, and then we're in the gym maybe around like 2 or 3. More recently, we've been able to use some of the facilities for analysis, but again, like it's just been dependent kind of on the government, whether or not they want us, inside in more confined spaces, because they want to, obviously minimize any risk of people having to isolate. But ideally it would probably be somewhere between like 11:30 and 5. We'd be in the ground. We get our lunch and that, for the day, which is nice. More recently with matches, it's been a bit shorter days. So maybe we're away by like 2:30. But that's kind of been the setup more recently. Ideally, I think in a non-COVID world, they'd have us in for breakfast, we'd train, they have us in for lunch, and then we'd be away. But again, they're just trying to limit the amount of time indoors, so they just do the best they can at the minute.
So every profession you've been impacted with COVID, yeah? Yeah. That's
pretty much the name of the game in the last year or two, hasn't it been?
So you've got that training day. So how does that differ for you, the feeling on a training day and match days?
Yeah, again, like I'm sure they'd have us around the center a bit more on a match day just to make sure everyone's in. But they kind of just want us to show up in enough time to get any treatment. And then obviously beyond the pitch, maybe a wee team talk before we get on the pitch for warm up. But a match day, they kind of they give us obviously the responsibility of making sure you're prepared. So we just turn up to the bus if it's an away game, whatever time it is. If it's an away day, we have lunch on the bus if people need to eat closer to the time of kickoff. And then obviously after they have all the appropriate recovery stuff. It's really nice, obviously, when it's at the center, because you just feel a bit more at home. It's a bit more relaxed. But yeah, it's just, they kind of are trusting you're going to fuel the way you need to fuel. You're going to get the adequate amount of sleep, and then you turn up and you do the job, and then you're away.
And how do you feel? What's the difference in you? Is there more nerves on a match day? Are you relaxed, or are you different?
I try not to think too much about the game like super far in advance. So obviously you prep during the week and you do your analysis and you make sure that you've done the tactics and stuff. But then actually on a match day, so like for example, tomorrow we play at 8 p.m. So that's a long time to be thinking about the game before the game even comes. So I try to just I have my routine in the morning with breakfast and certain things, making sure I feel rested. Usually when it's a later kickoff, I like to go for a walk, just to kind of like get some fresh air. Hopefully it's not raining. But yeah, I probably get a wee bit nervous in certain games, maybe closer to the time, but more of like a nervous in the sense of like, I just kind of want to get on the park and get the ball moving, because when you're not actually on the park, for me, it's just like you have all these scenarios running through your head, but as soon as you step on there, you kind of just take a breath and you get your first touch and you kind of settle in a bit more. So I try not to get too nervous. Obviously, there's some games where they're going to be more riding on it. Like last season when we played at Celtic Park, like obviously that was a really cool experience and a massive, obviously, rivalry. So that game, you have all the nerves and stuff, but good nerves always, just kind of nerves wanting to get the game going and get started.
Yeah, hopefully you're going to have a successful season and you're going to have lots of silverware. Do you know the pressure that comes with playing with Rangers? Do you recognise that?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, like I've somewhat familiar with the rivalry just in general, just with having family over here. And then, you know, when you're in the club, you obviously know how much it means to the fans as well as the people there. And furthermore, we have a few girls on the team who are actually diehard fans, have been for like years, or their family have been. And so you have everyone telling you, I don't think someone could not know it, how important it is and how much it's just the Rangers' way of, you just want to win everything. And that, to be honest, like as a professional athlete, I think that should be your mindset anyways, but it just means that much more. And you have such loyal, obviously, fans that you just don't want to disappoint them. So yeah, that's not lost on me by any means.
Yeah, when you're out socially and you're meeting people, and obviously you've got family here, but no, you're meeting friends, new friends, and how's it been doing in your action as that you're a professional footballer and you play for Rangers? How's that been socially?
It's been all right, to be fair. I haven't really had like a negative interaction with someone yet. It could go 50-50 depending on where in Glasgow you are, I'm sure. But for me, usually I joke with people when they ask, before I answer the question, when they ask, who do you play for? I'm like, well, what team do you support? And that's going to dictate what I tell you. But no, to be fair, like I haven't had a bad experience, which has been good. But let's just hope it keeps going that way.
No, people are generally nice. Most people, yeah. Right, yeah. This season started well. Is it down to the new skipper?
Yeah, it's been good. It feels like we really haven't played that many games because our first one was postponed due to a COVID situation with the other team. And then obviously we had one game and then we were on international break for like 10 days. So it's felt weird. It's like so much football has felt like it's been played because we also had quite a lengthy preseason, but in reality, we've only actually played 2 games at this point. So we have quite a congested period coming up. We're Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday for the next like 2 weeks or something. So we have about like 5 games in 2 weeks or something like that. So just have to make sure that we're spreading the minutes through the team and obviously getting the job done at the end of the day because we have some challenging opposition in that time frame. So it's going to be an important period to just stay healthy and keep getting 3 points and just hopefully keep improving our form as we're going forward.
And tomorrow it starts against tomorrow
night against Spartans.
Spartans,
Spartans tomorrow night.
Obviously all the games are difficult. You've got to go out and win. Yeah, so be looking forward to that again. And then you've got a run of games that hopefully can start pushing you towards that league title that we would love to see us parading at Ibrox, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. We obviously just have to focus on tomorrow first and foremost because Spartans will definitely, at least coming off of last season, they're a pretty organized team, pretty physical, hard to score against. So that's going to be the first order of business, is to just start breaking down the way they play and just focus on that game as you do, and then get recovered as quickly as possible come Sunday. And then we're away versus Hibs, which obviously will be a good game as well. So just got to take it every 3 days at the moment.
Well, obviously you're playing Hibs on Sunday, and the first team's playing Hibs on Sunday as well, yeah?
Yeah, I did see that actually. That's a coincidence.
Yeah. But obviously, it's a relatively new thing in real terms for Rangers to have a professional women's team. Would you like more support for the fans along in the game now that they can come? Would that be something that you would feel would benefit the squad?
Yeah, absolutely. I think anytime you have fans in and around the game, it makes it that much better in terms of atmosphere, in terms of, obviously, as we touched on earlier, you know how much it means. I just get the sense in living over here that Rangers fans just love Rangers. It doesn't really matter if you're the men's first team, if you're the B team, if you're the women's team. They just obviously love the club. So that's always something that isn't taken lightly, and we appreciate. And to be fair, against Hearts, there was like a few Rangers fans. I think we walked out for the warm-ups or something, and I was like, do I see a Rangers flag in the stands over there? Because obviously all last season it was kind of behind closed doors. So it's always amazing, and it's always great to get more people out to the game. And hopefully, like you said, if the team can just keep being successful and keep making a little run, it'll entice more people to come. We had a obviously friendly match at a couple months ago against Chelsea, and a ton of people came out for that. Just in general, obviously Chelsea are an amazing opposition.
Top side.
And so I think we obviously enticed a lot of people because of the caliber of players on that team as well. But it was a great atmosphere at one of those games. So anything replicated like that, like it's just that much more enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully, we talked to some of the girls last year, and their aim was to play a game at Ibrox in front of fans. And hopefully that's something that can be done in the future, Yeah,
that would be the dream, wouldn't it? But obviously, I don't know what the protocol would be in the background to get that. But that would be incredible if that was a possibility.
I think it'd be fantastic to take the team forward to play a game there at the right time, with people coming along and seeing you, hopefully in a big match where you get decent numbers there and spur you on,
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, So what's the aims for this season then? The captain of the team, give us your aims.
Yeah, I think, obviously we want to win every single game. I think we want to, we want to win the league, obviously, and we want to win the cups. The cups are introduced this season again. Last season with the stoppages in the league because of COVID, we weren't able to do any of those competitions. So, it obviously the further you get in the cups, the more games you're playing and stuff like that. It's a bit more wear and tear on the body, but we want to win everything. So we just need to keep improving game to game as a team. I think there were certain things off of last season that we realized like we fell short in, not just in terms of results, in terms of certain things, even on the pitch, in terms of defensively, offensively. So I think we want to improve on all those for the coming season. So hopefully game to game, we have obviously an analysis guy who breaks it down. We have one-to-ones with our coaches about individually what you can do as a unit, maybe what we can improve on. So we just want to be the best team we can be and utilize the strength of everyone in the squad and hopefully show a bit more silverware, as you say, by the end of the season.
On a personal note, how did you enjoy international football?
Yeah, I've really been loving it. Obviously, it's only my second time being called in, so still a fairly new face in the squad, but the girls are all really, really nice and just a good group. And it just feels incredible to be playing with such great players. And when you go away and even when you're with different coaches, you learn different things off of different coaches that you hope to then bring back into the training ground when you return. So, I've really been enjoying it. I've had a great experience so far.
Fantastic. And listen, once again, can we thank you for taking the time to come and join us on Rangers Radio?
Yeah, absolutely. No worries. I appreciate it.
We hope your short story inspires boys and girls to take up the game and come and join our club. But can we also say the way you've conducted yourself, you're an absolute credit of all the girls as captain of the Rangers ladies team to be on here. We thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks very much for having me.
No, no problem. And we want you back on when you've won the league,
Right. Sounds like a plan.
That's a challenge, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, you look after yourself, and thanks again for joining us.
All right, no bother. You have a nice day.
Cheers, Brianna.
Right, cheers. Bye-bye.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
So it was all right when you go over her shyness, Stevie. Brilliant. Absolutely superb.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
Brilliant interview.
I never
said the word, Bridge.
Yep.
He didn't get too much in, but she did. Really good. A good interview.
Yeah, no,
Well done.
on there. She had so much to say and such a good insight, Stevie.
100%. She's very proud to be the captain of Rangers. You can hear the way they talk, and by the way, it filters through every Rangers team, whether you're the B team, the big team, the ladies team. You want to win every single game. We said it earlier on there. You want to win every single game. But she just, first and foremost, she sounds a lovely lassie. And I just hope it goes good for them, because the lassies have put so much in. They were unlucky last season, and let's just hope they can go a wee step further this season, Ox.
And don't think we forgot about JFK and Bridgeman going along to watch an event. We're working on that for Auchenhowie. Don't think we forgot, Mr. Bridge.
What a shocker.
I didn't forget, mate. We're working on that. You and JFK took up the cudgel. We got much of girls, so we'll be organising that for both of you.
That'd be best sight to see them swapping taps with the lassies, eh?
Oh, no, Mr. McPherson, you know better. Yeah, Bridges fell off his chair, I think. Don't worry, we'll give you expenses. You and JFK will need to buy your own pies.
Oh dear.
Brilliant.
Yeah, right, okay.
What a journey, Oxy, all the way from America, and then captain of Glasgow Rangers, and now she's even played she's got a couple of caps under her belt with Scotland. Absolutely fantastic wee journey she's on. Aye, and again, I get back to it, she really sounds a really nice lassie. So just hope she does well this year, and I hope the lassies. I mean, I watch them all the time, on Rangers TV and interviews and stuff. By the way, she's a great big defender. No nonsense, by the way. She's in there. There's no holding back. And I like that about her. She's got a real good bit of guile about her, and I like that in a player. So fair play to the lassie. Good for her.
Based her clips and based her game in 8 Pathy News clips, Stevie. A Bridge, no nonsense defender. Anyway, talking about no nonsense. We'll be joined by Andy for Crookston. How we doing, Andrew?
I'm fine. Thanks very much, Ox. How are you?
All right, Andy.
Stevie, how are you?
All right, pal.
Good. That was a great listen there for Brianna. That was really nice. I've watched a few of the women's games, and she is definitely, I think it was Stevie pointed out there, she's a no-nonsense defender. She really is. She's a really good player. And yeah, that was great for get her on the show and promote a bit of the women's football. And if I do get the time, then certainly pop along and watch some games.
We would send you along with Bridge and JFK, but there's only so many pies they can have, you know what I mean?
You're not going to take any water with me either.
You'll be on the DFAB. You need to take a DFAB with you for they too.
I think it made an F cup, if I'm being honest, Stevie. Carry on, Andrew.
So moving on to Thursday, looking forward to the game. Really looking forward to the game. I know Sunday wasn't great, but we get 3 points, which is all that matters. And we're top of the league, and that's it. But Thursday, going back to Thursday, I'm looking forward to Thursday. A point I wanted to make out, I think the panel have been saying as well that Lundstrom will take time and stuff on Sunday. Well, you've been saying through the weeks and stuff, and I thought on Sunday was absolutely magnificent. I thought he was brilliant. It was, if you ask me, I think he was one of the ones that get the most pass marks for me. But yeah, fair credit to him. I hope that kickstarts him.
He did have a better game. I think Bridge gave him man of the match. I gave it McLaughlin because I felt his influence with the penalty save won us the points. But Stevie, who would you have went with? I think it was between me two. I don't think you could pick anybody else.
No, I'm the same. I gave it the keeper because it was ever unsaved. That got us the points. But Andrew's right. Lundstrom was absolutely. He was good. You could see in him what we've got to look at the future. He's really looking as if he's starting to come on to a wee game now. Maybe get caught out by the pace. Maybe it was a wee mixture of things. But he was one of the better players in Saturday there. So I can only agree with Andy the caller there. Brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with you, Stevie, there as well. The guy obviously playing with Sheffield United, it's a whole lot slower game in it, and coming up here, it's, you know, I was reading a wee bit today, and they said it's like 40 mile an hour game to a 70 mile an hour game up here. So some can hit the ground running, and some take a few games. But he looks as if he is improving game by game. And I think if he continues to improve the way he is, then I think he's going to be a right good player for us.
I agree with that, Andrew. I agree with that. I also think he struggles to get used. A lot of players struggle to get used to the long grass up here. Wherever Rangers go away from home, they don't cut the grass and they don't water it. Don't water the surface. They just leave it high, long.
I think we'd watered it on Saturday here, close clip slipping.
I think the boys were slipping in the long grass, to be perfectly honest with you. There was a very poor pitch, I thought. However, I'm not going to put that down. No blaming anybody for that. We won the game, and as far as I'm concerned, we were the better team. But I must say, we did give them a lot of chances. A lot of chances they got. And unfortunately for us, they couldn't.
Let's not look back. Let's look forward. Andrew, Big Stevie, in you come. But it'd be great if people could get behind the girls' team, which now an integral part of our club, Stevie. And I think Brianna's the first of many. It's going to be on the show this season. By the way, that's not a big announcement. But it was great to tie up with the Rangers ladies team again. They're going to come on and we're going to get to know the players over the course of the season, which is fantastic for us.
Yep, 100%.
Super.
Fantastic for the Rangers radio listeners, especially the female ones. And Brianna said there as well, it'd be a dream to play in front of crowd, by God. At one point, she's going to be in shock because if there's an international break or something like that and the lassies team are playing and they get to play at Ibrox, you could bet your bottom dollar maybe 20,000 there, you know, because it will happen at one point, Ox. The Rangers fans will make sure the lassies are looked after as well. Nobody gets left behind when you're wearing that badge, you know, and nobody gets left behind. And I'll tell you, there'll be an international break where the lassies are playing, maybe playing them across the city, and it'll mean something, and the Rangers fans will come out for the lassies, even buy a couple of bob in, you know, and go and support the lassies team. But she said it'd be a dream to play with fans. She spotted, against Hearts, she spotted a fan with a Rangers flag. Wait till she see it when they go to support them, you know. Wait till she look there, Bridgeman and Jimmy storing.
There's always a downside. They two, but they've been doing interviews, they two, Jimmy and Bridgeman.
I don't want to say to Andrew to take a defib, but you'll need it for Brianna. When she looks there and sees Bridge and Jimmy storing.
I know how she feels, mate. I know how she feels.
Oh boy.
We can't have the two in the studio at the one time. Anyway, I'm no one for spreading rumours, as you well know, Bridgeman.
I
just get sent a wee snippet. I think it came last night, not the night. I've not mentioned his name, but let's just say it's no, it's like Lex Smelly. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah, on Facebook, he was saying when we read out about the COVID jags last night, I've got proof of my 2 vax to go on holiday. Did I tell you I was in Lanzarote? He posted that on Facebook. So he'll
Was he
get
a
all his
Totty? Was he a
tickets due.
Totty?
It might be the same guy. It might be the same guy. Somebody sent me it, so there we go.
Brilliant, just brilliant, just brilliant.
I also believe that Totti from Lanzarote went on the Founders Trail.
I did hear
Yes.
that. I did hear that, and
Yeah.
I did hear that.
And he thoroughly enjoyed it. He says we should get them on the show and that. And I was trying to explain to him, look, we had them on years ago.
Yeah.
But what a tour. What a tour. He said he fully enjoyed it. And the things you learn about the Rangers are unbelievable.
I'll
The
tell
West
you,
End.
Ian McCall was on, and he talked to us, and we were doing the show, we were doing it, and Warburton, it broke that Warburton gets sacked. That's how long ago it was. And we had to pull it, and we had to go live. Do you remember that night, Fish?
I do. I was shocked because I like it.
And they could at least wait till we were finished before they sacked Warburton.
That's the night. That's the night the magic hat died.
That's true, Stevie. So,
Oh, noise, go on.
so when was that, Stevie? 2016? Warburton was it 17? Maybe 17.
16, 17 season, wasn't it?
Aye, so that was it, mate. That was it. He gets sacked tonight.
Late flash. John Eustace is starting next week with training.
So that was it, Stevie. That was the night the Founders Trail were on, and obviously it's there on the archives, mate. People can look at it and find it. We'll get the boys to post it on Facebook. But the geese is a story, but he doesn't want to. Obviously, when he comes on some little show, he wants to give you a snippet. He doesn't do the whole Founders Trail because there's no point going on it, wasn't there?
That's it. He doesn't want to give a lot away. But I'll tell you what, fair play to Ian McCall. The stuff in the background that the boys done and the digging and everything they've done to get that up and running, it's absolutely fantastic. And see, what I didn't know was, Ox, when I went on it, see the West End of Glasgow, my God, it's steeped in Rangers tradition. The other side of the river, you know.
Been telling everybody that for years, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just bombed in the north side of the city. People got to wake up. I mean, yeah. All the good things come from the north side of the city. You know that.
Yeah.
I know that. Prince knows that. Do you know that, Andy, for Crookston?
No. Do you know it's one thing I've done? I've done the tours and all that, Ibrox, but I've never done a Founders Trail yet. So I was obviously trying to when COVID was on, but obviously it was off. So, but is it back up and running? No.
Aye, when you see the Founding Fathers, you see the school photograph. You look up on the right hand side, you'll see Bridgeman.
I'll tell you what, Andrew, you'll get away from that south side and you'll get to see the true West End of Glasgow, because that's where Rangers are born and bred.
Yes.
Oh, great stuff. As I say, I'm definitely.
I bet there was somebody for a certain area. And he might be on in a minute. He'll be going nuts us too, Stevie.
Oh yeah, you better believe it. You better believe it. Great minds think alike, by the way. I'm sitting here going, I'm waiting this phone gone, by the way. Unbelievable. But see, just when we're on it, I mean, my family's got a plot up in Craigton there, and it must be 20 yards, 30 yards away for the Founding Fathers, you know, it's unbelievable, and it's not that far away from Balstruths and all, but see the history and the stuff that you learn about our club. It's you're in for a treat, Andrew, when you go. It's absolutely fantastic. I took my wee boy on it too, and it's just amazing stuff. Absolutely amazing. Of course, it ends with a tour of Ibrox after it. No, it's absolutely brilliant.
How long is it on for?
All right. Right, boys. Oh, when you go with him, it lasts for about 3 days, but then the end of the day. Right, get yourself a mute. We're going to have a tune.
Today, forever and for always, we are Rangers, through and through. Well, little lad, face the world and say, bring it on some more, 'cause you know for sure that we don't do walk away. We don't do walk away. We are the legendary Rangers. We wear the legendary blue. Today, forever and for always, we are Rangers through and through. We are the legendary Rangers. We wear the legendary blue. Today, forever and for always, we are Rangers through and through.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Right, well back, gentlemen.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes.
We are
Yeah.
Rangers through and through.
I've not heard that song for years. My dad had that in LP, and when he used to come in on a Friday night out for the pub or when he was at the game on a Saturday, he used to come home first and then go back out to the Edmonton Club, I think it was called then. In the 80s, is that right? It was
Oh,
called
mate, I think that was I think that record was a
Edmonton Club.
78, no, in the 80s. Frenchman. Oh, Stevie, are you with us?
Yep, I'm with you, yes. Aye.
No,
I
that's
think
a
I'll
Andrew's
remember
drunk. Are you
him.
drunk, Andrew?
No, I don't drink. Him and my mum used to after
No,
Re-
too much
Rangers
information.
game,
This is a
we
family
used
show,
to
Andrew.
come
We
back.
don't want to know what
My
you've
dad
got
used
up
to
to.
bring. My dad used to bring me
Enough of that,
home.
Andy, take the hint. Shut up. Right, okay. Where are we? Drop your mum down it. What are you up to on a Friday night with your own business? Right, okay. So, Andy, we've got a big game coming up on Thursday. How do you see it going?
I think we'll get a result.
Right.
I do. I think we'll get a result.
What are you basing that on? Optimism, support, blind faith, performances, results in Europe? What are you basing it on?
Well, it's basically results in Europe. Because
We've
I can't
no
see it really on.
we've no won in 7 games in Europe.
Well, that knocks out the question, doesn't it? But we're actually no bad in Europe. We're no bad in Europe. But
Oh, sorry, we've won. Sorry, we've won 1 game in 7 in Europe. Yeah.
that see, honestly, I would never have known that. I would never have ever known that.
We played.
Considering
with Malmo
Gerrard,
in the club.
how many of them are draws?
We drew with the team away, and we had the 2 against the Czechs team last year. Then we had 2 against Malmo.
Right, with
So that's 3
Leverkusen.
defeat. And then we had the 2 qualifiers against that team. 1 draw, 1 victory, 1 draw. So 2 draws, 1 defeat.
2 draws, aye.
2 draws, 1 win, and 4 defeats. So we're recording the last 7 games. I know Stevie G's record of the whole was superb, Stevie, but the last 7 games haven't been great.
No.
Stevie?
So we couldn't really base it on anything.
I'm just going to give you a wee clue, mate. You're called Andrew. Stevie, in you come.
Andrew, what was that you were saying about your mum and dad again? Listen, see when you put it like that, it is the very good, isn't it? But when you're looking at the bigger picture, we've got a good record in Europe, you know, where we came from. And since Gerrard's come in, you know, you look at the whole big picture, we are a good European team. We're a hard team to beat. Although we got beat with so many teams there, I mean, come on, man, that last one, the Champions League one against we flung it away, we done the hard bit, we go at the goal, they got a player sent off and we came out in the second half and collapsed. There's other games there where you can say, no, if that would have went that way, you know, we could have done a bit better. We've been hard lined. Look, you've got to have the rub of the green in Europe too. You've got to, pardon the pun, you've got to have a bit of luck, you know, going way in Europe at times. And we're always punching above our weight, Ox. You've got to remember that too. Not against some of the sides, but most of the teams we got up against, early on, we're punching against our weight there. What's their team worth? Well, what kind of players are they signing? 50, 40, 50, 60 million pound players? And the rest probably. You know, we're punching above our weight in Europe all the time, but the bigger picture is we're a good European team. The last 7 doesn't suggest that.
No,
you know,
no,
and it's not to you put it like that. It's not to you put it like that. Most Rangers fans, after you said that, will probably be like, wait a wee minute, that's right. I didn't think of it like that. You know, and it's true when you look at it. It's not really great the last 7, but the bigger picture is we're a good European team, Mox.
I accept that, mate. It's just a stat. You can make stats mean anything, Andrew. You can make stats mean anything, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Just as you said, as I said, like when you said at the beginning that what would you base it on? Would it be form or whatever? And as I say, blindly, I thought European form. But as I say, I would never have guessed that was our last record in Europe. But I've just. On a gut feeling, I've got a feeling we'll do the businesses on Thursday.
I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right. Bridgen, you come, mate.
Nah, mate, I'm all for the way we've been playing in Europe, and the way you said it. You said that wee bit you said there, obviously true, but a bit taken aback. So I would say you get taken aback with someone says something, you go, "Nah, is that real?" Just like Big Stevie said. For me, Rangers have got to come out. I've got a lot of time now, between now and Thursday, between the weekend and Thursday, to get a lot of things sorted out. This is massive. This game is going to be absolutely massive. Get 3 points out of this game, and the world's our oyster. The world's our oyster. Seriously.
All right. I get what you're saying. Big Stevie Davis, play for you.
100%, yep. You've got to have his experience. And I believe, too, it's behind closed doors, isn't it?
Aye. Don't keep away from it. We don't want to go back to Andy's mum and dad on a Friday night behind closed doors.
Is that after the Emerson Club closed doors?
No, but listen, hopefully, Andrew, that'll give us an advantage.
Oh, definitely, yeah, definitely. Depending, I suppose will give definite confidence as well as hopefully the other game goes and the result that we're hoping. So yeah, definitely, it'd be great if we get a result. And as Bridgman said there, it's massive. It's a massive game for us. But just as I said, my gut feeling is I think we'll get the 3 points.
I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right, man. Stevie, because it's 3 points. It's good dough, isn't it?
Listen, everything's... Look, see, for morale, everything's good. If we could win that game and score a couple of goals and get money for the points and everything, it's all about morale. It's all about the snowballing and morale for me. And as Bridges hit the nail on the head, it's a massive game for us. It really is. If we can win that game and us winning that game, get into Sunday's game against Hibs, that gives us a lift. It just doesn't give the Rangers team a lift, it gives the Rangers support a lift, and it helps us on our way. It is a massive game. With them having no fans in there, that gives us an advantage, I would say. And I think the Bears will, listen, their sleeves will be rolled up. They'll not let us down. Come on now. Come on, the Rangers. Is that right, Bridge?
Absolutely, big man. Come on, the Rangers. Get in there and do the business with this mob. You can do it.
Just the latest for the just after 81 minutes gone, just to let people know that the Rangers youth team are taking on Hannonby. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. In the qualifying with champions for the under 18s, and we're winning 3-1. 3-0.
That's Swedish, isn't it?
Tonight.
Swedish, aye, yeah.
Swedish champions, yeah. So
Good.
the boys are doing well, yeah. Boys are doing well, obviously. Yeah, we've got Patterson there and Bassey, who are relatively young men, pushing. Stevie Kelly's there and thereabouts, and developing his game with the first team squad. So hopefully all these boys can push and push and push, and some of them become stars of the future for our club. It's fantastic, Stevie, isn't it?
Listen, for top to bottom, man, we're getting, slowly but surely, we're getting everything right, and everything is going great. The finances, everything, we're team for the women's team, to the B team, to the youth teams, to the senior team. We're board of directors, they're answering the call at every time. The club is in a real good state of affairs. The Bears are there. What was it Rangers put on? They thanked the fans. There was 35,000 or 3 games or something like that.
Something like that, mate. Close to it.
Right, yeah.
I think you've got to be fair, but Stevie, I think you've got to be fair. I think that team for the other side of the city put a tweet on Monday thanking the 5 dozen that turned up at their place on Sunday, you know what I
mean? One of them was the Dairy Donkey.
The Dairy Donkey, I love that, by the way. I love it, the Dairy Donkey.
Oh dear, you've got to laugh at, But aye, so 3-0 at the moment. I think it's, let me see, 2 goals for Jon McCausland and Robbie Ewer scored the third one, yeah. So 3-0, a good place. Met out with the boys' elbow. And obviously, we might be able to get people online to watch them in the not too distant future, the young boys, when we get a wee bit more organised.
Very famous name, that, in Scottish football,
right.
Ewer.
Yeah, it's a famous name, isn't it?
Ian Ewer. I wonder if he's any relative of a great player for Scotland.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught the thing about, I read somebody's actually sent me the day about Dennis Law. Did you see that, Bridge?
No, what about it?
Dennis Law, it was an article that wrote saying that he always wanted to play for Rangers, and Rangers are the team that were always in his heart, and it was only if Rangers would have came calling and it never went down south, I bet a lot of people disappointed in that.
Wow.
Right.
Dennis Law a couple of times. Up the drum.
Right. Back in the day.
Oh, yes. He's,
Back in the day.
Dennis Law was a great friend of Harry Crern and Jim Baxter. And Crern married a lassie for the sort of cul-de-sac that I lived in.
Right,
okay. Sharina.
Oh, wait a minute. Carl, how are we doing?
Aye,
Carl?
I'm doing fine. Hang on, you put that one mute.
Put it on before you come on. Do it the proper way around. It's not, I know you're a first-time caller.
I know I'm Ogs, How's things?
We're good, mate. What's on your mind?
I was listening to your show earlier on. I turned around to watch a Man City Paris game. It's not very good. But we better play better. It's all right saying Lundstrom looks as if he's coming on to you again. But playing a wee bit better than the rest of the team we're playing isn't really good, is it?
It's a fair comment, Stevie. It's a fair comment.
Aye.
Everything's gone great. Everything all right with you? How are you doing with this COVID? The passport and thing?
We're all right. Everybody's going to hang it. We're going to obviously get everybody will get sorted. I mean, obviously the two boys have got it because they need it for the Savoy Friday night as well.
Aye.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, it's a strange one, isn't it? You know that you've got to have it, but they're not really going to check it for 2 weeks. What's the point then?
Oh, mate,
Okay, it's just that was meant to be coming up to Glasgow next week, but bugger me, I can't get better.
All right. Just don't get it started on the Scottish government, mate. That would do.
Not just the Scottish government, this
Right.
trumpet brain down here, you know. I think we're going to get a draw.
Take a breath. Right, how's the game going to go on Thursday, yeah?
We'll have to play it. We have to play solid. We have to be solid. We can't have any daft short passing. You know, short passing. It's too soft, cushion balls and that, and no looking passes. We have to be solid. Play it simple. Stone up to play for the shirt because this isn't working and I just can't get my head around it. I enjoyed myself. I watched this afternoon. I watched 4-0 game for Rangers against Celtic. And all 1-0. Van Bronckhorst scored. So that cheered me up a great deal, you know, in the afternoon. Didn't cheer my wife up right enough, but you know how that goes anyway.
All right. Stevie, in you come.
Just what Cal was saying there about the COVID rules of getting into the game on Sunday. Just for any bells that are listening, when I get my 2 jabs done, I get the sheet for the NHS site, and it tells you it's just proof that you've had the 2 jags. But mine's never had the 2 barcodes at the bottom. And it was actually my sister that said to me, Stephen, they brought another one out, it's got 2 barcodes at the bottom. You're probably better getting back on and doing it. And I done it again. So just for any bells out there, just watch it. You haven't done what I done. When I get my jabs done, I ditched the 2 forums, 2 appointment forums for the jabs because I get proof of the one getting sent through that I had the 2 jabs. And there's a new one out, it's got 2 barcodes at the bottom, people. And I know it might not mean much as long as you've got some sort of proof, but I just went on the day and got the 2 barcode ones put onto my phone so that when I go, I just show them my phone on at the gate, and if they need to scan it, it's there, you know, just in case. But it's going to be a wee bit of fun in games, get into the game, because there's bears maybe only 1 jag at one end and all the rest of it, you know. It's got to be fun in games, it really is. And then there's got to be...
I'm glad the game's no Easter Road, mate, because obviously, historically, they had a lot of jags through there, you know what I mean?
Well, you've got to have an HIV test to not get in there.
Carl, no. Listen, Carl, we'll let you go. I know what happened there. I've just been explained to you, but thanks for joining us.
Right, thank you very much. Nice to hear from you. I thought it was a bad phone call at this time of night, you know.
Cheers,
bye.
Mate.
All right, Cal.
We've been joined by a good friend of yours, Mr. Somebody's got the show on. And you come, Mr. Kelly.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Alex.
Hi, Stevie.
Hi, Alex.
Upstairs, Bridgeman. We doing all right, guys?
Good, mate. What's on your mind, mate?
I'm just wanting to explain a wee bit about the Founders Trail, if that's all right. If there's anybody that's not been on it, I really enjoyed it. I spoke to Stevie the other night, and as I say, it's absolutely fantastic. I didn't realise, obviously, Ian was on Rangers Radio a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I hadn't fun the show, but then.
Oh, that's all right, mate. It's there in the archives, mate. Of course, we would have been on it any time. You know, if anybody promoting Rangers stuff, you know that.
Aye, yeah, of course.
We even let you on, Alex. You know, we're pretty good.
Well, you're very good that way, definitely. But no, I was there with my dad and my son, and just the education, the kind of obviously the historic stuff that the guys delve into is fascinating. It really is, and the history going back in Glasgow and stuff. A lot of the buildings where the founding fathers actually stayed have barely changed in 150 years. So it's fascinating going round about Glasgow and them telling you the history of how Rangers was actually born and where they played and Fleshers Hall, moved on to Burnbank, Kinning Park before eventually finding Ibrox, and Mr. Struth's grave and everything. Creighton Cemetery and all that overlooks Ibrox, so they're never far away. But actually doing the tour of Ibrox, that's the first time I've done that. And the improvements that they've done within the stadium, going down that walkway, the tunnel, and just the hairs in the back of your neck are standing up, because you can imagine what the players go through every match day. It must be brilliant for the guys, you know.
Aye. Listen, I'm glad you enjoyed it, mate.
Sorry.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, mate. It was. Listen, it's the boys put a lot of work into it, and obviously the Rangers related, and they put out their elbow, you know.
Absolutely, mate. I mean, value for money. Talk about value for money. It's £30 for a ticket, you know, and it's £20 for a junior or a concession, and you're there basically. Well, we were there at back at 11 in the morning.
Well, that was £40 for you and your dad, then.
Not quite. But it was a kind of a birthday present there for him. He turned 70 there last month, and even he was astounded at some of the facts the guys were coming out with, and he really enjoyed his day as well. So it was well worth the money too. So thanks for letting me talk about that.
No, not at all. And you
Alex, can I ask you a question on that, mate?
Aye, Andy, yes. When you go.
Did it take you into the graveyard and show you the reconstruction work? No, that they've done. Yes,
today, Andy. The finish at the Creighton Cemetery, because obviously it's only 5 minutes away from Ibrox. The start in the Fleshers Hall at Glasgow Green, where we played our first match, and then, as I say, we go into Burnbank, Kinning Park before finishing at Ibrox, and it just gives you a detailed history about the kind of. I mean, they were all young men as well. There was all young guys in their early 20s, and they talk about Tom Valance. He was only 16, and he was their kind of star player, but he had a 60-year association with our club, eventually becoming president as well. So fascinating stuff. It really is.
You better watch your name. They'll need to go on the founders tour, mate.
I've been banging Andy for Leeds to go into it, and he's got his heckles up. He really needs to go into it. And anybody that's out there,
calls himself a supporter, mate. You know what I mean?
I know. He knows nothing about our club.
No. I was Alex. I was being a well-known pundit for Rangers Radio, Mr. Southside. We're in the Viceroy pub on Saturday before we went to Dundee, and it's Tom Valance that used to own that building.
Originally,
and then there's a big photo of him in the pub, and see if you've never been in, just go in and look at that photo. Wow, absolutely brilliant. I stood staring at it. I was talking to Southside, and I just couldn't keep my eyes up at the photo. Absolutely brilliant. And see the history of the buildings in Glasgow and where all these people, what they owned and where they stayed. Ali, unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable.
Oh, fantastic, Steve. It just fills you with pride, learning about our club. And as I say, where the guys came from 150 years ago, they must be looking in awe at Ibrox and what they've actually done to the city of Glasgow to give that to us as supporters.
Yep.
Aye,
definitely.
We've got a duty to pass it on to the future generations. That's the main calling, the Rangers support, to pass it on. Stephen?
Yeah. Well, the fact I was there with my dad and my boy, you know, that was kind of special alone. That's a memory I'll cherish forever as well. And if Bridgeman, if you've ever been on it, if you haven't been on it, I would seriously recommend, young and old, it doesn't matter. You'll learn something about the club that you didn't know.
Stevie, can you come?
Unbelievable. Yep, you've said the true thing. It's about handing it Dunox, the young team, the Union Bears, all the young boys. If they've never been on it, I would like to think that the biggest majority of them have, but the ones that haven't, when the day go, they'll learn about their club all right. And you've said no truer word. It's about our future. It's about the young team going and learning everything, how steeped in tradition, and how 4 young guys that had nothing started the world's greatest football club in my eyes, and it needs handed down. I took my young boy Jamba with me, and by the way, it's funny you should mention it. The bank holiday Monday there yesterday, I was going down to Roseneath to the Modem Church where Moses McNeil lies. And because I've never been down there to see him, Roseneath, and see him, his grave, and me Jamba were going down there, but with the rain and everything, we never went. But I'm no doubt in the near future we will get down. And I go to these places and I just can't thank these guys enough when I'm storing out their resting place. I just look and I just say, guys, I just wished I could tell you how much enjoyment you have given people and what the Rangers mean to everybody. And thanks very much for everything you've done as young guys. You know, the history we've got, we should cherish.
Yeah. Let's hear
Moving
from
words, Big Steve.
Let's hear from
you. Well done, pal.
Very moving.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, I think anybody who's got the time or the inclination or wants to find out a wee bit more about the history of our club, of course, the Founders Trails, if that's your idea, it's good to go on it and build up your knowledge of the club. Anything else on your mind, Alex?
No, just really looking forward to Thursday night now. But I was wanting to pose a question to the panel. What is the most important game, Thursday night or Hibs?
It's new Thursday, and then on Thursday night it becomes Hibs and Mice. Bridgeman, in you come.
Most important game for Rangers, the next game. Absolutely, 100%, the next game.
Mm-hmm. Stevie?
I was going to say both. It's as plain and simple as that. I've said it time and time again. Everything we enter, we want to win. No matter what game it is or where it is, we want to win. We're Glasgow Rangers. We don't enter to say, we'll just make the numbers up. We want to win it. We're Rangers, our standards are set.
Andrew?
Sorry?
And your good self?
All right. It's a tough question to answer, Alec. But my answer would be the same as both of them. I couldn't say Thursday and then, no, it's a question. It's a too tough a question to answer for me. Both games are massively important.
Cheers. I get your point, Alec. If you had to pick one, what would you pick? Yep. I think that would maybe be a different way of putting it, yeah?
Yeah.
But I get it. There's obviously the league's the priority. I think a wise man says that Europe and the cups are just bonuses, but obviously revenue's at stake all the time when you're playing in Europe. That's important. Prestige and building up the brand.
Mm.
So there is two sides to this coin. Stevie?
And saying that, Ox, but it's a great question, Alex, come up with, sometimes your heart rules your head, but we've got to remember, we won the league this year. How much does the Champions League bring us? So when you're talking about finances, we won the league this year, we're straight into the Champions League, and that comes with a major reward. So it's probably my head telling my heart that Hibs is more important.
What do you think the directors will be thinking?
Well,
that's a tougher question.
Just wait for your name, Andrew. Just wait for your name, mate.
Well, if I'm a director, Ox, I'm saying we win the league. We get how much Champions League money next season? We win on Thursday night. What do you get for that? Even if you get through the group stage,
maybe 10 million max.
10 million max. Or if you beat Hibs and keep the run going and win the league, how much do you get into Champions League? Maybe 30 million quid.
Maybe
it's a no-brainer.
Aye. Andrew, in you come.
Yeah, basically, I totally agree with what the Stevie said. Just it's majorly important that we win the league this year, and because it's a big, massive, it's a huge pot, and although the finances are imperative this year, but last year obviously we didn't get fans on the ground, which was no great, but we still get the season ticket money. But our European journey, I think, over the last 2 years has managed to keep our bigger players here at Ibrox. I don't think if we go to the last 16 or maybe to the knockout the group stages, I think we probably would have had to sell one of their players. So it's
potentially.
So definitely it probably is Europe on Thursday that could possibly.
I'm going to be greedy, Alex. I'm going to win the tournament. But what's your thoughts, mate?
Well, my heart ruling my head says that we want to win the tournament, but being realistic about how we're playing just now, I think the better the opponent we're up against, particularly in Europe, I think they're going to dig out our frailties in our defence and expose it better than the likes of a Dundee would, or a Livingston would, or possibly Motherwell, the three teams that we've played there recently. I think financially going forward, obviously the carrot of Europe, it brings its own finances, which has been critical basically for us going forward and allowing Gerrard to build a squad to win the league last year. But I think it would be criminal this squad if we gave up that league title after all the hard graft that we've done in Europe to qualify us for that Champions League automatic spot, to give up the domestic honours this year. I think that the team's not playing well just now to get the European scalps that we're getting the last couple of years. So I think we might come unstuck this year. But see if we win a treble this year, I think that would gloss over some of the failings for Europe.
All right, Bridgeman, we keep saying this and we've been saying it for a few weeks, this game, that game. But a good performance and result on Thursday, do you think that could use that spark domestically?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Brings the confidence up. Guys get out of self-belief again. A very important game. This is a hugely important game to Rangers, this game. And we're going over there, and if my memory serves me right, there's no fans involved in the stadium at all at any time. So I just don't know. But I think they were talking about guys, fans are wanting to go, and they were told not to go. What's to that effect? So if it's true there's fans there, that's fine, but we'll see what happens. Really big game. I'm not being funny. Absolutely massive game on Thursday. Massive game for the club. And the players need to look at themselves, and they need to smarten themselves up insofar as what their thoughts are. Any negative thoughts in their head, get rid of them. Get rid of them. Or you'll end up doing yourself some damage team-wise. Can't have these negative thoughts. You've got to go and do it. Up for the game and get it done, and then you can worry about Hibs.
I just looking at the odds of the game there, Stevie. It was pretty close. The bookies have got the game really close. Yeah, surprisingly, yeah.
What does that tell you then?
The fancy odds to get a result, yeah.
That's exactly it. So that's a great thing. And listen, the question. Get back to Alex's question quickly. It's a case of lose the battle to win the war. Maybe that's what I'm thinking anyway. You're losing Thursday night to do well in the league and get the big cash prize. But listen, it's all about momentum and where we are now. That's all hypothetical, that question, Alex Guinness. For me, it's about now. And Bridge is right. Winning Thursday night, what morale that gives us for getting into the Hibs game. You know, and the bookies keeping the odds close. That just tells me one thing: we're in a shout, guys. they can't be a real good team at home, or the odds would be different, surely. So it just tells you that we're in a shout.
Mm-hmm. Aye. Yes, mate.
I was going to say something there. See the team for Thursday. We've all got our own thoughts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Gerrard kind of intimated a wee bit in his post-match interview after the game in Dundee that leaving players on the bench was good because it gave us a freshness for Thursday in mind. Now, bearing that in mind, McGregor and Davis was on the bench. You would think then that they're going to come straight into the team. But how does that make McLaughlin and Lundstrom feel if they lose their place on the back of their performances at Dundee?
I think the McGregor one could happen, but I think Lundstrom will still be on the park. That's my own personal thoughts, Alex.
Do you think Davis will come into the team and he'll get shoved to the Ryan Jack role again? A position of the team that he's not comfortable?
Well, they're both new positions to a minute. He played in different roles for Sheffield, didn't he? You know,
he's been playing really well in that central midfield role that Davis occupies. That's my point, really.
I think Davis will come in, mate, refreshed, obviously. He had a wee bit of rest the last couple of games, and then he never played at all at the weekend, so he's not really played for the Motherwell game, so hopefully he's recharged the batteries, because at the moment, if Lundstrom plays well, what we've seen him, and Stevie Davis plays really well, I still think Stevie Davis is in front of him. Stevie?
For me, look, is you going to play the on-form players, informed players, or is you going to play experience? And for me, at every turn, he's going to play his experienced players. McGregor will be back in goal, and Stevie Davis will be back in the team, 100%. And you probably see, I don't know how bad Borner's injury is. Is he back in training?
Sure, we'll hear tomorrow, yeah.
So if Borner's fit, you mark my words, Big Bassy will not be there either. So I think he's going to go be experienced, Alec, rather than the informed players. I just think a game like this, he's going to go for experience.
I agree with you, but that might be contributing to the problem. That he keeps dropping the informed players in preference for his experience of foreign players. That might be contributing to part of the problem.
I mean, John McLaughlin's record is excellent for us, but I still think at the moment he's still Alan McGregor's number 2 bridgeman.
Can't disagree with that. I think he's got to go with experience. It's a tough away game, and the best players you've got, more experience you've got, get them in the team. I think they'll play Davis and Lundstrom. You have 2 defensive midfielders. That's what I think he'll do. I don't know if he'll change very much round about that, but I think that'll be worthwhile doing that, because we can't afford people running right through us. We just can't afford it. And Stephen Davis likes to romp up the park sometimes, so it may be beneficial. But I'd love to see they 2 playing for us, particularly in Europe. Make a huge difference. They could take the weight off each other. Tremendous.
Can you come, Andy?
Yeah, I agree with Bridgeman there, especially with taking the weight with the 2 of them sitting. Like 2 of them sitting next to each other and maybe helping out the back 4 that isn't at their best at the minute. I'd like to see the 2 of them playing together. So yeah, on Thursday, I would. Gerrard, you know what he's like. He normally always goes for the experience. So yeah, but I would like, as I said earlier on when I first called in about Lundstrom and how I think he is coming on his game, and I wouldn't like to see him. I wouldn't like to see him getting dropped, and and I don't know if it would knock his confidence or anything. I doubt it because he's a professional. I'm sure he's been dropped before in his life. But I would like to see him and Davis partnering up. I really would. I'd like to see that. So
That's
I
going to
agree with
happen.
Bridgman there.
For that, for me, he's going to happen. He'll play in the right of midfield. That's where he'll play Lundstrom. But listen, I think we're going to put it in context with Lundstrom. You can see a bit of improvement. He's settling into the club. But we're talking about games against Livingston and Dundee. They're not going to exactly set the header on fire, Alex K. Yeah?
No, you're right. I mean, the level opponent is definitely there. But having said that, they're winning many parts. The rest of them weren't very good. That's what I was just going to say. And it's worrying. It's definitely worrying. But I'm remaining positive in the fact that we're winning at places like Dundee. I mean, Celtic haven't won away. I think that's 6 defeats in 7 that they've had for the start of the season and 0 in the league. So as long as we keep putting the points on the board, then we exert the pressure onto them. And their Sunday, a typical result for me now, because they're playing under pressure for their own support. That's kind of what they're claiming at the start of the season, where they were saying that our team couldn't play in front of our support because we're putting them under too much pressure. That's what their support's starting to do to their team. So as long as we keep winning, putting the pressure on the opposition, I think we'll see cracks in the other team.
Their support? What support's that? There's none of them gone.
the green
six. 5 of them.
Here's a question for you. And I'm going to wait to see what time the tandem turns up at. Right, here's a question for you. I'm going to take the Fifth Amendment on this one, right?
No, that's not allowed.
You tell him, Stevie.
How'd you start on Thursday? Stevie?
No.
Ridgeman?
He'll come on as a sub.
Yes, he'll start.
Alex?
For me, yes, I would start Hadji.
Andy?
Yeah, definite start, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so where are you playing him, Alex?
I start him. Is it you asking me would I start him?
Aye,
I would start him, but what I think the manager will do is I think the manager will bring him on as a sub.
Mm-hmm. All right, okay. Where are you playing him, Alex? Are you playing him in the forward role, yeah?
I'm changing the formation a wee bit. I know we keep going on about a 4-3-3, but see if you're playing Davis and Lundstrom in the same team, I think you've got to play they two sitting and allow a 3 in the front of them and then Morelos up top. So I would play Hadji in front of them just behind the striker and let him have a free roll the way he was doing at Dundee.
Oh,
I must have missed that free roll bit at Dundee.
You must have. You're not right all the time, Ox.
No, I must have missed that one. And you come, Stevie.
See the game on Thursday. It'll suit Lundstrom better. It'll not be as physical and it'll not be as fast. It's a wee bit more slowed down, I think, in Europe compared to the Scottish League, and it's not as physical. And I think that will suit the big guy better too. So for me, I think he'll do all right on Thursday. So I would definitely be having him on the team.
All right, be interesting to see what other people think the next couple of days. But look, if you're talking about form, the last 2 games, he's entitled to a jersey, Bridgman.
Yes, I don't have any problem with Hadji in the team. It's Hadji we're speaking about and no Lundstrom, is it?
Well, Lundstrom there.
Lundstrom, okay. Lundstrom has been my man of the match for the last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
And the games before that, when he was coming on as a wee sort of cameo role, last 20 minutes or whatever, I thought he played quite well. I'm a big fan of Lundstrom, and I think what he's doing now, the last couple of games he's played, admittedly, they weren't the most difficult teams in the whole world to play against, but I think he sort of bossed it. He started to boss it at the weekend, in my opinion.
All right, okay. Everybody sees it slightly different. Listen, I thought Hadji gave us that spark on last week, Wednesday, AK. I thought he was entitled to get his start on Sunday, but I don't think he'll start this week in Thursday night. There you go.
What's your team then? Is it too early for a team off you yet? What's your team then?
Oh, that's a good question. Right, okay. Right, here we go. How about we go? We stabbing at that. Bit of fun, right? John McLaughlin in goals. Tav. Golson.
Yep.
Balogun. Warner. Lundstrom. Yep. Davis. Kamara.
Yep.
Arrivo, Morelos, and Sakala.
Interesting. Interesting year. Putting McLaughlin in goals and no McGregor.
I don't know why. I've nothing to base that on, mate. It was a bit of fun, I said, yeah.
Yeah, it's all about opinions.
Yeah. Maybe John McLaughlin could come out the shadows and take the jersey, you know what I mean? Become number one. I don't know. I mean, now, listen, I'm having a bit of fun, but I was surprised if Alan McGregor come right back in the team. No, we wouldn't. Stevie?
Yeah. No, for me, I would put McGregor on.
Mm-hmm.
Aye, for me, I would have McGregor on. Very much if defence to the midfield, I would have the same. And then it would be probably Morelos, Roof for me, and Aribo.
Where are you playing Roof then?
I would play him coming in for the right.
Where are you playing Aribo? Out in the left?
Aye.
Right, okay, mate. I mean, I don't see a spark between Roof and Morelos. I don't think.
No, I don't. I'm thinking what would the manager do? What team he going to be? I don't think Morelos and Roof are good in the same team. I think, and I think there's a lot of Rangers fans out there think that too. And you know, just with listening to them talking before games and stuff. But look, the manager sees something, boys. You know, he sees something in them.
He's a good finisher, mate. His record for us is pretty good, goals wise. Roof, yeah. But he's another one that's similar to Hadji in some respects. I'm not going to dig at Hadji here, AK, that when he falls out again, Roof, he becomes totally non-existent.
He was unlucky with a snapshot he had at Dundee, but apart from that, he didn't do a lot. But what did Morelos do, apart from setting up the goal? He didn't do a hell of a lot either. As you say, it was very lethargic up front.
No, but see that snapshot? See that snapshot? He should have pushed it through the boy Sakala, who was through and goal for a start. Yeah?
You could label it. Well, like all strikers, they can be a wee bit greedy sometimes, can't they, when they see the sight of goal?
He was at the halfway line when he done it. I know he's done it before, but, you know. Ridgeman, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking McGregor, Tav, Coulson, Balogun, and Borna Barisic.
Right.
I think that it'll be Lundstrom and Davis and Kamara. And I would have Hadji, Morelos, and Aribo.
Okay, all right. Everybody sees it slightly different, but there'll be a few thousand Czech kids getting in to watch the game. They've given permission for that. I don't think it might be a lot of screaming. I don't think it'll be a hostile atmosphere. They just have to get down and play the game. It'll be a bit like watching the game last season. Alex?
I hope Side doesn't know that. He'll be asking the gold members.
I use my cheers.
How would you get done in Abdo?
Alex?
Brilliant.
I'm actually considering leaving Kamara out of this game because of everything that went on last year. I think just take him out of and give him a few days to prepare for Hibs. I think there'll be a circus with the Czech media surrounding him, because everybody will be, trying to put loaded questions to him or trying to unsettle him. So I'm thinking 4-2-3-1. I like sticking McLaughlin in goals, to be honest with you, but I think he'll revert back to McGregor. I would also have Patterson there at right back rather than Tavernier. You've got to take one of them out of the team, and Golson is no losing his position because there's nobody else there basically in the centre half. So he's got to stay in the team. But I'd take Tavernier out of the team and put Patterson in. I'd leave Bassett and Balogun. I would play Lundstrom and Davis as your holdings, and I would play
Haji. All these things are going to happen.
No.
All right, okay. Just
no, but I'm just giving you my
thoughts. As if what I was going to send you get drugs tested tomorrow morning, yeah.
Send them to HR.
But how many times have we said, though, Ox, we need to freshen up this team. We need to snap these guys out of the poor performance. The only way that you can snap them out is either leave them out, give them a rocket up their backside, or, just let them know that the performances they're putting in isn't good enough.
Well, they haven't been. Their argument will be is we went deeper in the league competition than last year.
I know.
We're top of the league.
I know.
And we're points clear. And we've qualified again for Europe. So things aren't as bad as we think they are. If we were in this situation 3 years ago, we would all be swinging through the rafters with joy, Stevie.
Aye. Listen, I can't hang with the question there. Do you know what I've done? By the way, I'm going to come clean. Real Madrid are getting beat 2-1. I'm just watching the scores coming. I missed the whole question. They're getting beat with that Sharif Transpol or something.
Well, I thought I'd say that. Thanks for the call, Stevie. Don't be a stranger. We'll speak to you soon.
I'm getting sent to I'm getting sent to
Oh dear. I said,
sorry about that, lad.
We're no playing well. We all agree with that. I don't think there's anybody come on and seen that. But when you look at the cold light of day of the facts, but in the semi-final League Cup, which we never managed last season, we've qualified for the Europa League again. Okay, we've gone up against a good Lyon side, and we're top of the league and clear. A couple of years, 3 years ago, we'd have snapped your hand after being in that situation.
Yep. But listen, it all looks good in paper, Ox, but by God, man. I mean, the only game I've missed St Johnstone away for obvious reasons, no. I just think our performances have been dire. But again, I keep going back to, I said at the start of the show, how many Bears would have took 1-0 before a ball was kicked on Saturday? I certainly would have took 1-0, you know what I mean? But it's how we're performing. It's a real bad watch. And what's happened is they're victims of their own success. We look at last year and what they've done, and we're looking at what they're doing now, and the bar's been set that high, you know, and it just doesn't look as if it's going to get any better soon. But it'll need to start because we've got a serious run of games coming here. I think we've got Hibs, Hearts, and we're in Europe in between them, you know. So we'll need to start getting it together. So this is really important on Thursday that we get a win, you know, and try and get morale going.
All right, you'll not believe it, mate. We've reached that time in the evening, Big Stevie.
Yeah. Well, once again, I can only thank Rangers Radio for letting me on. And what a great interview you done with Brianna Westrup.
I never done nothing, mate. I never done nothing. She was an absolute star, Turban girl.
The lassie's just, she sounds a right nice lassie, you know, you could tell her manners and everything else, and that's what you want in a Rangers captain. It's not just about playing football, it's the person too, and fair play, and I hope she does well, and I can't thank her enough for coming on the show. Absolutely. 10 out of 10.
Alex K, Carl, Andy for Crookston, thanks for the calls, boys.
Thanks very much for having us on.
No problem. AK, you're the big totty news. You've been doing, I think, in a lot of circles, mate. You've been getting
the big totty. The big totty.
I'm back to being I'm back to being the banger for Burnbank. I'm naming it.
I think you'll always be. I think you'll always be the Totty for Lanzarote on here, mate.
Cheers for that, Stevie.
Oh no, mate. I'm sorry. I keep saying I'm sorry, but you're big
No,
Totty.
really. He's not really.
Alex Kelly, you went over to the Canaries and they're on fire now. They're on fire.
It's over to
Unbelievable.
you,
on
Bridge,
fire,
man.
yeah.
It's over to you, Bridge.
Oh, what can I say? By the way, Officer, a fantastic evening. Really, really good programme. Really interesting discussions. Absolutely brilliant. Well done. A big thank you to Big Stevie the drum for being my partner tonight. I can't say it enough. To all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one is, please, I've only got 2 sleeps to go, and then we're playing in Europe again, and I just absolutely love the European football. So, everybody, keep it going for the Rangers, because they're going to need it, and I'll see you on Friday.
Yeah. Can I thank Brianna Westrup for joining us here in Rangers Radio? What a lovely young lady, and a credit to her club as captain of the women's team. It was great to have her on. Thanks to all the boys for all the call. Thanks for somebody to carry on. Thanks to Bridgeman and Stevie for hosting the show. Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. I know they're working hard with some issues at the moment. Thanks for listening. Stay safe. We'll be back tomorrow night. We'll be joined by the one and only Jaffa, 8 to 10, talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, Old School Blue.
How many years ago, my boys, I left the Glasgow town. I followed the pull of the Yankee land and here have settled down. Although I met the Bridgeton Cross and my friends so near and dear, but I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. You can talk of California where the sun shines all the year. You can bomb about your Broadway light so clear. But it would fill my heart with gladness, it would fill my heart with cheer, if we only had the Rangers over here. For they're the finest team in all the land, and I'm sure that you'll agree. To see them win is something grand, it's part of history. For the boys who fear no noise, my lads, and I mean that quite sincere. What I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. Singing Buck of California where the sun shines all the year. Singing bum about your Broadway life so clear. But it would fill my heart with gladness, it would fill my heart with cheer, and we only had the Rangers over here. And I'm sure that you'll agree. To see them win is something grand, it's part of history. For the boys who fear no noise, my lads, and I mean this quite sincere. What I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. You can talk of California where the sun shines all the year. You can bomb about your Broadway light so clear. But it would fill my heart with gladness, it would fill my heart with cheer, if we only had the Rangers over here. If we only had the Rangers over here. If we only had the Rangers over here.